and welcome to the latest episode of my house buying journey. So it's been almost a year since I bought my first property. So I just thought I would come on and give you a little update of what has happened in the last year. So if you have been following the Money to the Masses YouTube channel, then you may have noticed that I did a house buying journey. So I bought my first home in August 2021 and I have documented the entire journey, so everything from the highs and lows and the whole process. So it took 8 months for me to purchase my property. Now I've been in the property literally a year this month, and I just wanted to let you know kind of what we've been up to and what we have learned along the way. So what has happened in the last year? So we bought our house in August 2021. So that went really quickly. Most of September was just spent settling into our property, moving stuff in, doing a lot of decorating, so much decorating and painting. And we actually moved our stuff in over the weekend when we moved into our home. We didn't do it all at once so that we could paint areas. You know, if you're going to put up your wardrobes and your bed, we did all of that painting in the bedrooms, so that we didn't have to maneuver all of our stuff. Then we started to paint the front room just to give everything a lick of paint, just so that we could kind of have a blank canvas to work with. So then in October, we renovated our kitchen. We had saved for this prior to moving in. So we knew that we wanted to get the kitchen done as soon as we moved in. The kitchen was quite dark and dingy, and quite dirty. And it was something that I knew I definitely wanted to get done. So in October 2021, we were lucky enough to be able to renovate our kitchen. Not long after that, we obviously had our first Christmas in our home. That was an expensive month because obviously if you had watched our other videos, you will know that me and my partner, we live with our parents. So that we did not have anything at all in terms of Christmas decorations. We had to buy everything from scratch, and this was very expensive. I did not appreciate how expensive Christmas decorations are. And we didn't actually buy a fake tree that year. We bought a real Christmas tree. So that was exciting, but very, very expensive. Now, over this period, the winter months, I've previously touched on it in another video, we actually had problems with our boiler. So I had our boiler and our electrics checked before we moved into the property, and everything seemed to be fine. But once we were actually in the property, I had a problem with the heating. The heating would come on, the heating would be on fine, and it would all be working. And then all of a sudden it would get cold and the radiators had turned off and I could never get them to come back on. And it took me months to figure this out. And I went through so many tradespeople telling them that I had this problem, and they couldn't get to the bottom of it because the boiler worked fine, the heating worked fine, the radiator worked fine, everything was getting hot as it should, but it kept cutting out. So eventually we had this problem sorted, but it took a series of 4 to 5 months to get to the bottom of the problem. So that was the winter months. Since then, not a lot has happened really. That was the major issue from the first year in our property. Since then, we've just been continuing to update the property to how we want it. So we've started to renovate the garden. We had to move the loft hatch because the loft hatch in our bedroom was above the wardrobe, which was really frustrating. And we've boxed up the front porch because there was an area in there that was glass. We kept letting out all of the heat and letting in the cold. So that we have actually achieved quite a lot. One tip that I would say, if you are buying your first property, is remember to take pictures so you can look back at how far you have come. That is one thing that I keep forgetting to do. And then I stop and look back and actually see we have done a lot in our property, because I have touched on it in previous videos that I don't appreciate how much we have achieved, and I'm just always thinking about moving on to the next best thing. So that is one tip that I would say, is just take a step back and appreciate how far you have come and what you have managed to do in your property. And also remember that things cost a lot of money, and don't be like me trying to constantly move on to the next best thing when it actually costs a lot of money, so it takes ages to get things done because the money wasn't there in the first place. So that's it really. A year on in our property, we've just slowly renovating it. It's all taking time. We were quite fortunate that our house didn't need a lot of work doing to it, but decorating everything takes time to get things done. So if you have any questions about the house buying journey, if there's anything that you would like to know, do email me, lauren@moneytothemasses.com, and I'll try and answer those for you. If not, have a look back at our house buying journey, particularly if you are going through it, so you can see the rough stages and things that I went through what it took to buy our first home. Thanks for watching.